Tonight, I'm gonna be talking to the sister Hadia from the Goddess Glow Up, the founder of it. She wasn't ready at 9. She'll be coming in later, but we want to talk about how y'all paying attention to the energy shifts. So while we waiting on her to come in, I can't say exactly when she's gonna come in, but I'm only gonna be on here about an hour, and then she's gonna come in and somewhere in the middle of there. So if y'all been paying attention, we're gonna go recap a few things. People reporting phenomenon in the sky and on the earth everywhere. From energy weapons, all this is the chaos. The energy weapons burning up the cities, the heat waves and the 120-degree heat indexes. This is the chaos in the shift in the energy, right? When energy shifts, it creates ripples and waves. It's basic physics. It's just how the energy moves. It's like sound moves in waves. Energy also moves in waves. Well, unless it's a particle. But that's a whole nother story. That's particle physics, double slit, triple slit, all them experiments. But the earth is responding to solar flares. These solar flares is hitting like they haven't been hit in years. They hitting. What's the side effect of that? Well, back in, I think it was January, the core of the earth stopped spinning. Then it reversed back and started spinning the opposite way. Now, for those that was watching for a while, I was saying that the energy grid is inverted on the earth to hold the negative frequency. And this was kept in place by blood magic and science, using science to harness the earth's frequency to make us go into a hibernation, an artificial Kali Yuga. And also we was looking at conjure wars using blood rituals and blood oaths to keep us in these stupor, this hypnotic trance that we couldn't remember who the fuck we was. We couldn't remember that we had a direct connection and link to the earth. And the earth talked to you through harmonizing with your soul off them same UV lights. And earth receives energy to its center from the sun, right? And this energy come back out, and what it took down there with it, all them little stars you see, was the pixie dust, the stardust. And when we hit the core of the earth, we come up and we got to be having a body. So we come out human. The most highest evolved form of the game, right? So the guys come in human form as starlight, coming in on stardust, a whole neutron star as a whole light body, hit the core of the earth and pop up a human just from the energy alone. So this energy becoming human, we become mischievous and creative, right? You see children role play, artists create what they see in their mind and transfer it to paper or canvas. The musician, that's the creative guy aspect. This energy that's changing now, it's changing for the better, because anybody who won't be able to harmonize with the shoe and tough nut resonance. That's the correct frequency of the earth. Is the shoe tough nut resonance. They had us on a double masculine shoe and men resonance, and they confused you by making you think they talking about the guy Schumann who came up with the measurement, when all the time they telling you what frequency you're on, putting it right in your face because you ain't supposed to figure it out. But now that we done figured it out, we see who doing it, because you can see past the cat's paw, the fall guy, the Coat Seavers, the crash dummy, right? And you can see who's pushing the buttons on the remote control behind the curtain, right? And so we drag them motherfuckers out one at a time. We got all of these young chiefs running around here waking our people up. Some of us agree with them. Some of us don't agree with them. They have to fight this war from the angle that they see the fight, or we gonna definitely lose. So you got 19 Keys. What the fuck his name mean? He telling you something in the name. Yaki Awaken. Translate the name. See what he telling you before you listen to what he telling you. Right? They giving it to you. Rashad Jamal, Divine Insight. Right? They all telling you something. These young phase 1. What the fuck is the phase 1? Sabir Bay. The Saber. On the Shriner cap. They coming from all directions, fighting this fight the way they know how. Young Pharaoh, Thug Spirit, like Tupac, came in, played the Hayoka Clown to the tilt to get the message to the rest of the chiefs what was taking place. Right? All of these chiefs is telling y'all we here. Right? So you see Divine Insight reenacting the captivity of Toussaint when he was held in the captivity of the French. All this is the energy reversing back, showing you the pattern back to before they came. So Elijah Muhammad said, accept your own and be yourself. He ain't say turn into an Arab from the Middle East when he taught his Islam. So now, Bedell been breaking it down. Everybody's name means something to us on the land, right? So while we seeing what the enemy was telling us to see, some of us was seeing what the rest of us was looking at. It's the same way they track and measure where something is in order to give you directions. It's called triangulation. When you triangulating in from all of the eyes of the political prisoners, the Larry Hoovers, the Jeff Fords, the Mumia, from the Tukey, all of these chiefs is telling us something. It's about to come to an end. So we was on here talking about the importance of the sisters getting healed because they still in war mode, right? They still rustling up in war mode. It's time to go back into mother mode now because we here. Adult grown-ass men, the new batch of elders hatched from our DNA who know how to read everything on the land. So he sat down in the penitentiary to read everything on the land. Right? From the bad to the good, from the good to the bad. We had to start encouraging the sisters to participate in the healing groups. As men, we don't want to come home and hug a cactus. Right? We want to come home and hug something that hug us back pillow soft. We don't want to come home and listen to a broke record. But if they ain't healed, this is what happens. So then we go to finger pointing. Men ain't shit. Bitches ain't shit. Because ain't nobody healed. So you got to take the responsibility on yourself to look and see what's being done around you. So you wondering why everybody's complaining. They got trans testicles that swear they women. You got a person with a whole identity crisis in full-blown mode, declaring that they are alternate gender and demanding that they have alternate pronouns. Make this make sense. This is an insanity. So you saying, okay, we're going to start validating the schizophrenic, the sociopath, let him murder. When is it going to stop? We might as well let the serial killers out so they can continue to serially kill. If we're going to continue to let mental illness be the dictator of where we going next, I mean, what y'all doing? You got teachers out here bypassing the system because we have to put it in the public domain how we see it. And some of us make mistakes because we operating from a human's perspective. But all of the errors be the root to the wisdom. Because what you intend to do didn't get done because the source inclined you to do it the way it's supposed to be done. And therefore it looked like a mistake to the eyes of man. But you got to get it done. So it's about now, everybody breathe. All of the chaos going on, breathe. Take a deep breath. Stop. Pause. Hold up. It's okay to say, wait a fucking minute. I ain't ready. Let me see what I'm dealing with before I make a move. This is where we all be making a mistake. And that's how you're going to learn the hardest lessons, because you're going to keep making the same dumb mistake until you get it. It's going to get drilled in your head by repetition. And then it's going to be a habit. And now you're in the habit of making the same mistake over and over, swearing you're doing it right. Ain't they called insanity? And these not going to be functional. Tupac said one time, hotline, you niggas better find your man. I got mine. And you get to the identity itself. The earth talk to you. If you from Africa, the earth talk to you and say, hey, you from Africa. You get this overwhelming magnetic pull in your soul when it's time to raise the last to first to go back home. This how you know we ain't African. Because we got a mad motherfucking drive to defend this land to the last drop of blood. Because we blood tied to the land. Right? And it's not necessary. Why is it not necessary? Because you're standing in the position of right and you're telling the truth and you're shaming the devil. Right? And when you shame the devil, he's defeated. He can't take it. But you took it. Right? We didn't know they looked like us, but they wasn't us. We had to figure that shit out. Our ancestors been telling us, get rid of the enemy within, and the enemy without can do you no harm. But we didn't know that. We didn't know what they was talking about because they talking riddles all the time. Right? They say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. They telling us a slave story, and my parents is saying we ain't come from slavery. We came from sharecroppers. My grandfather on my mother's side, he was a landowner. They built cities all over his little old plot Big Mama gave him. My daddy then was sharecroppers. That's how the sharecropper agreement was how they swindled our elders out of the land. All those contracts are void because I can prove it. Right? The paperwork proves it. I went through the paperwork. That's how I know. I don't know because I'm guessing. I know because I seen it with what they did with my eyes. I'm looking at the papers. But you got people that swear up and down because I'm looking at the papers don't mean I know what I'm looking at. Well, let the people make the judgment call themselves. Am I seeing what the fuck I'm seeing? And is it saying what the fuck I'm saying so we can get to doing what we supposed to be doing? That's why I be focused. That's how I get focused. Because I be sitting there thinking, I'll be like, I don't understand how we start building this military regimented society with these linear lines for streets. We always built concentric circle villages with the town circle in the middle, where the big mama meet, where she the one who big mama house is the key to the city. She the mayor. A mayor is a female horse, can't y'all? It's all right there in our face. And now, what we don't be, they still try to stretch the game out, but they still got to make a connection, right? Like they cheated the the Haitian girls out of the World Cup, but the Jamaicans won, tied to Haiti by the bookman. So even when they tried to take the food out their mouth, they just fed their brother with the same with the same birthright. They just flipped it from one bloodline to another. They think they slick. But when we all realize what's going on, divorce the system. Step back and watch this motherfucker fall. That's all I say. But in the meantime, in order to get back to building our communities, in order to get back to building our communities, we have to start creating and supporting the sisters that's helping the other sisters heal. So that's basically what we're on today. The sister asked me to come on and have a conversation with her on the live. I told her, yeah. So she says she'll probably be in around 9:30, somewhere around there. And in the meantime, I'm gonna look in the requests and
What's up, Uncle?
what's going on, sweetie? How you doing?
I'm great. I always get surprised when you answer my live for some reason. I don't know why.
What you gonna request if you're gonna be surprised for?
I don't know why. Because I don't know. Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So I don't know. But it's been great since our conversation. So
Was what we talked about helpful?
yes, everything was fantastic, and I don't know why I'm just being called to share because I don't know if you know. Well, you did tell me I am an oracle. I can read. My kids are in the bath, so sorry. But
It's okay. You gotta be a mama.
yep, my husband we're doing it together. So I I I quantum jumped today. I started it on Sunday, and it finally happened today. So I don't know if maybe someone in the live needs to hear this. You stay over there,
You
Miss Thing.
you describing the last energy
It
pattern from the opening of the portal on 8/8. The eighth day is is today.
it was crazy. So well, I'll just tell for the live so other people can see what happened. But last week I washed all my kids' clothes. I washed all their school uniforms on purpose, so that way they would have school uniforms for this week. Well, when we got up today, when I tell you I go to get the uniforms, there's no uniforms. And I'm like, I specifically washed them for this reason. So I'm starting to get angry. My husband takes over. He's like, okay, let me just go look. They were in the bottom of the dirty clothes basket as if I never washed them. So And then I spoke with my mom today, and she said something super similar happened to her too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Y'all, okay, so what's going on right now? The energy is shifting back to the feminine energy. So a lot of y'all being caught in time loops in order to put you back on the correct timeline for you to be a winner,
okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll remember doing something, it's the Mandela effect. It's actually just a glitch in the matrix to put you on the right timeline. Because you got to be on a timeline and where that you got to guarantee your victory.
That was
Mama said her daughters get all of their shit. So all of y'all women are aligning with the earth based on mitochondrial and based on the uterus, the portals. Just like y'all got portals, Earth got portals, and y'all talk to each other and syncing up
I just
around the
started my
world.
uterus cleanse like a couple days ago too.
All that fit right into the pattern from the 8/8 Lionsgate opening, going into 8 days later. That's
I
the
always do my rituals. I
turnaround.
did a ritual on Lionsgate. I
Mhm.
did, I did, and
Yeah.
I did one.
So you describing the answer to the rituals you was doing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. As if it never happened. He was sitting. I watched him pull those uniforms from the bottom of the basket, and I know I washed them because I didn't want to have a morning like that. I was like, this is like what?
Okay,
It was crazy.
now look at this how Mother Nature works. You need to be aware that the anomaly is there.
Mm-hmm. The codes.
It has to be so blatant that you absolutely know what you can't be told that you don't know what you're talking about because you're that sure of what happened, right? It's a slap in the face by the universe to tell you pay attention so you can get the answer.
That was
And
crazy.
that's the answer. The answer is the women are lining up and it's going to be sitting in the Schumann resonance. If you watch the Schumann resonance, as they call it now, it's really Shoot
Mm-hmm.
Chestnut now. It flipped about 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
right? When it made the honeycomb pattern, that was the Oshun energy green light to return. Then it went all green a couple days later,
You
right?
said
So all
a
of it,
honeycomb.
yeah, it made a honeycomb pattern. Right, but most people wouldn't have paid it no attention. But I already know to look for the patterns. Yeah, right. So in that same pattern, um, also looks like a THC molecule, right?
You know we do that around here. Good job,
And the
girlfriend.
THC molecule is a mirror molecule to the melanin molecule. So the melanin is talking to the mitochondrial, and the frequency is being attuned to the uteruses of the mothers.
Because I spoke with my mom today, and I was like a little hesitant on telling her that because I didn't want her to think I was a weirdo. But she was my mom, so I was like, okay, mom, let me tell you what happened to me. And she goes, stop it, stop it. She goes, the same thing happened to me. Now you're freaking me out because she said she didn't even think about it because she was like, this is too weird for me. She didn't think about it. But then since I told her, so something of hers disappeared too. She was looking for an outfit or something weird, and she knew she put it here. When she went to look for it, it was gone. Even my dad, she said, even I had your dad looking all over because he knew it was there, and it was just gone. So she was like, you made me lose my outfit because you did a thing and you quantum jumped and it made me jump with you owe me an outfit. She was telling me. I'm like, okay, okay, all right, lady.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's that synchronization.
that was crazy. So
You already gonna sync with your mother first anyway, especially if y'all got a close bond.
now we do. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's important for mothers to heal, and for the daughters that's also might be slightly broken to see them heal.
You know what's
That gives the
crazy?
daughter the permission to heal.
That lady, she's been healing. We had a moment, we healed together. So she told me she has now been automatic writing just because she's like, I just wanted to get into something. So she's been automatic writing. This lady, okay, so clearly my mother's white. So it's so crazy to see her like she's been automatic writing, and she's been telling me all the things she's coming up with. She's having crazy experience. Just like, whoa, it's getting weird. She finally let me do. She actually asked me to do a tarot reading on her. She actually like asked me, and it was like mind blowing for her. We were both just like, what's happening? It was,
Yeah,
it's been crazy. So
yeah. And that's where the communication come in on the empathy link. Y'all y'all already got a circuit going on between y'all. It's
now
natural
we
by
do. Yeah.
nature.
She's really opening up a lot more. She's very open minded. Like I try to tell my dad, I'm like, she's on her woohoo stuff now. She's very like, if someone's not getting along, she's like, well, just think about how they feel. She's very like, she's on it. So now she's automatic writing, and just it's very interesting. It's getting crazy. So it's so
Yeah.
fun. I want to pull a card. I really want to pull a card while everyone's on here really quick. She's dressed now. You want to see Uncle Rod, huh? You know this one. So just for everyone in the chat, this is Aura, like Aura, and she's fully deaf. She can't hear anything. She was born that way. So her and Uncle Rod, they speak telepathically. So they know what they be talking, just so y'all know. What you telling them about? She just got out the bath, so Look how she's waving. She don't even know everyone's saying hi. It's so insane. Should we go pick some cards? You see my curly hair? You're showing them. Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Let's
gonna
go grab some cards.
let you pick a card. The next time I'm gonna take somebody else before the sister comes, so I can get a couple
Oh,
people in.
sure. Absolutely. Maybe we can do it on our own next time. I'll pull a card for everybody.
Okay.
All right, girl. Get off of here. Let him talk to other people. Get off. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. I love that baby. It tickles me to death every time. That's the thing, when I get on here and I start talking to people and be vibing, I don't be quick to cut them off because I want
What's
to
up?
hear what they're saying. What's going on?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, you
Yo,
got it.
just give
What's
me a
going
moment.
on with you?
I'm in the dark. Just give me 1 second. I'm turning on this light here.
Okay.
Whoo.
Yeah. I was just telling the people, sometimes I get people on here, I'll be wanting to hear them out. I don't be wanting, but then I only got so much time, so.
Yeah. No, man. Hey, especially when them kids come on, you're like, you man. And you know what? I find you just start connecting with everyone, man. What up, Rod? What up, Rod? Yo,
What's going
I gotta say
on?
this first. Thank you. From me, you helping us, man. You just every time you come down here, drop someone, we getting some keys, man. We're really getting keys. And just on the energy, yo, I haven't been sleeping. My eating's been off. I would say for the last 3 weeks. I went away to Miami. I'm in Toronto, but I went down to Miami for the Forbidden Conscious War just to kind of clear my head as well, right? And bro, I'm
You
telling you,
also touched the
I
finish
hadn't felt
line, too.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew
Yeah.
that's why I was going down there. I'm like, you said it, because I was thinking that. And I said, this is the finish line down in Miami. So I went down, I was meditating in the water. I do my own magic. I don't know how to do it. I follow whatever resonates with me and how spirit feels. So I'm kind of one of those ones I'll take from here. So I just went down there. I did my thing. But when I tell you, I felt very different. Even in the Forbidden Conscious of War coming back, I haven't felt myself. But and I like to I like to keep myself busy, but I find with me right now, you have to slow down. It's something saying slow down, but meditate. Slow down, but meditate. But
That's
I'll
that's
be honest with
why I
you.
recommend Tai Chi, right? I tell people if you
Mm-hmm.
learn Tai Chi is what I call kinetic meditation, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
meditation in motion. If you can use it and get good at Tai Chi, that means while you're going about
Mm-hmm.
your day in the world, you can still
Uh-huh.
get your meditation in and get all of your
While you just
tasks
moving.
done by converting it from an idle cross-leg lotus position
Mm-hmm.
until you can start changing the world with your presence. Because when you're in the meditative state, you calm raging energy.
Yep. Yep.
You know, so
I
that's the key to learning. That's why the Asians seem like they really don't give a fuck, because they really don't give a fuck.
They really
Because
don't give a
most
fuck.
of them do Tai Chi, and when they get there, that's like a another dopamine artificial THC
Yeah.
boost.
So I don't never did Tai Chi. I remember growing up as a kid. I grew up in areas where there were Chinese people, and you see them in the morning doing it. But I don't know, we had this, I think everybody, the brothers know, we grew up having this like for Kung Fu and these things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we fucking like created it. So I would just be in my backyard, my shoes off, and I just start grounding. I do breathing. I have a little spliff in my mouth, and then I start doing my own Tai Chi, my own movements, and I just breathe with it. And sometimes it's almost like you're in a trance state. I do it sometimes even I just go play some music and I take my feet out and I start moving. And I find that is one of the best ways for me to feel, I just feel bliss. But I also feel like I'm ready for whatever. You know what I
Now,
mean? Normally
look,
I'm doing
now,
it at night,
we
but
we
I'm
talking
ready for
about the
whatever.
we talking about the women healing, right?
Mhm.
You see, when you be in that state of
Mhm.
bliss, now
Mhm.
that comes like if you have a group of healed women and
Mhm.
they all in their element, right? They got their
Mhm.
feng shui,
Mhm.
right? And they all together in harmony. The energy shift,
Dope.
the
Mhm.
mitochondrial resonance turns all the way to full throttle.
Mhm.
The men rely on the women to reach that state for him to reach his godhood.
Mhm.
You can't reach it without the woman amping
You
you
can't.
up. She's your alternator.
Mhm. I noticed on one thing that you said there, and I've noticed I've been with my woman for 9 years, and we knew each other from back when we were way back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of my hardest things is not being like my father. Okay, so my dad, I'm gonna tell everybody, my dad he was a good man in his heart, but he was abusive. He was abusive to my mom, verbally, physically, mentally. But
That's
I
a
knew
side
a part of him.
effect of us never being taught how to control. Because what it is when that mitochondrial turn up,
Hmm.
we go slightly crazy for a minute before we regain our orientation. So it's
It's
like
like,
we getting hit with some dope we don't know how to control yet,
like
and it makes
literally,
some of us violent.
that's what, like I was starting. I know I'm glad you said that because in the last 3, 4 weeks, my shit's been all over the place. Even before, there was times where I was like, I'm healing, and then I'm like, yo, bro, I look like just like my dad. I'm freaking out. I'm like, going to that place I don't like, and I'm like, I don't even like that. And I had a heart to heart with my wife, and I was like, bro, there's some things about me that I'm like, this is the person I want to lose. This is the shit I don't, generational trauma I
Look,
want to drop.
that's
And
right,
it comes
but
out sometimes, and I'm
convert
like,
it
you know,
convert it by using like redirect your focus
mm-hmm,
of anger in your
mm-hmm,
perspective of view,
mm-hmm,
right? So when you want to get the anger out,
mm-hmm,
we got all kind of ways to get the anger out now.
mm-hmm,
You can go to the gym, you can hit the heavy bag.
mm-hmm,
If you're going to feel somebody punch you back in the face, you can get in the box 3 rounds of sparring.
yeah,
Go into where they training these young boys for MMA.
yeah.
Just to get the aggression out, because
For
that's
me,
what the aggression there to protect the women.
yeah, I know.
Because they
And for
got us
me,
so confused to who the enemy is, we
we
attacking
just
every motherfucker
it's
around. The
misplaced.
closest motherfucker around you getting bit.
And I'm a person, if I fuck up, I'm going to be like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to explain myself and I'm going to try and reason. And I found me and my wife in the last couple of weeks in a different mental, spiritual. I feel like we just hit another point where we were like, we just got over something. Where I even find our little connection in the last couple of days has just been, it's been like I had to almost divulge stuff about myself. She had to divulge, but I see stuff about her that I was like, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a person, I feel things. And if I feel something's off, it's going to come out in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So if you scared and you don't tell me you're scared or something's bothering you, I'm going to know. I'm not going to know what it is. I'm just going to know. And I'm one of those people, I always know when something's not right. Not in a bad way, but I was like, something's always telling me. And I'm getting better on understanding myself and recognizing it in other people or recognizing it in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I'm seeing this evolution happen in my face, but the feeling of almost like there's a disconnect. I feel good, but I'm like, something don't feel right, or I'm waiting for something, or I need to chill, or I'm getting this kind of message. And I find, I'm like, okay, but you're not doing, you almost have to take the worldly shit that's happening here. And sometimes you have to really pause it. And I'm like, but I can't pause. I got to work. I got to make money. I got to do this. But it's really telling me you got to pause or you didn't get over a platform. So you either need to get through that platform or that next step, or you need to just relax. And when I have you gearing up for, you're going to go ahead. So,
I always tell it like this: when you don't
mm-hmm,
know what to do, that means don't do nothing. If you're supposed to be doing something, you'll know what you're
mm-hmm,
supposed to be doing.
mm-hmm, yeah,
So when you don't know what to do, be still.
be still.
And then
Mm-hmm,
look around. What am I missing?
mm-hmm.
You're going to see the path because then you're going to all of a sudden know what you're supposed to do.
To be doing. Yep, yep. Oh, man. I must say, man, this, it's a lonely journey, but it's a beautiful place. Like, for once in my life, and I could sit alone and I'd be like, damn, I never knew being alone like this or just meditating or being in this position of understanding self could be so good. And it's not
That's but that's
even, I
that's
don't,
why we're here.
you know what I mean?
That's why we're
Like,
here. Look,
really? Like,
yeah, that's why we're here.
I'm not even gonna, I gotta tell you this story quickly before we go, or whenever you're ready to go, but I want to get this one up with the Goddess Glow. So, I was just talking to a couple of gentlemen outside of Feel Bitter and Conscious Award, and was kind of wrapping up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of, when you do those like kind of head turns where you're like, is that her? Mid conversation, I was like, bro, I gotta go. I gotta go introduce myself. Um, and it was funny. Before I left, I was like telling my wife, I was like, I know the Gladys glow up. Sometimes she's at the beach, she's in Miami. I want to run into her. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know where her place is at. And I saw her there, and I was like, shit, I got to run into her. Although like I have no expectations of ever meeting people, but I was like, that was cool. But there was some creepy shit that was happening on at that wards. There was a couple times I ran into people and I was like, you look familiar.
Mm.
Or random people were
Hey,
coming up to
I
me and saying, I
don't mean to
look
cut you
familiar.
off, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sister waiting on me.
She's
I'm
ready
about
to
to
go
let.
in? All right.
Okay,
Thank
I'm
you,
about to
man.
let her
We'll
in.
talk again.
Okay,
One love,
all right,
everybody in the room, man. We're going to do this
all right,
thing.
yeah,
All right. One love.
yeah. And here's the special guest coming in. Yeah, so we go through the self discovery.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
hi.
Butterfly mode.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm good. So good to see you. You have such a warm smile.
Thank you,
Look at that.
thank you. Yours ain't so damn itself.
It's so good. Like it's like my first time seeing you face to face. We've been talking on the phone, but
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I first came across the video of you and the ladies by the ocean, I think you was in California that year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a flashback that was so vivid that I got cold to the bone.
You
Of
got cold. Tell me about it. Hold on. I like that.
so I had the flashback of a ritual that we used to do in the Mississippi.
Okay.
It's an old Oshun ritual that the Oshun priestesses used to do. The messages that come in on the river,
Mm-hmm.
right before they polluted it, was so clear to the women of the land that they would do their rituals in mass on the Mississippi River. And they would come from all parts of the land, and the men would escort them. We didn't live in teepees, but we took tents with us when we went camping. That's what we did. We had castles all over the land. They act like we just got here. We've been here for thousands of years. So the flashback was so intense that I was able to see so much intricacies of the ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, if I ever get a chance, I'm gonna ask her if she know about the rituals on the Mississippi. They was also duplicated in the Nile.
Mm.
They
And
they have bas reliefs on the wall
mm-hmm.
of the women doing the ritual, and this is they raise the water up
Mm-hmm.
in the moonlight, where it used to be the light of Lilith, the moon of Saturn,
Mm-hmm.
before they put this artificial man matrix spaceship out here, and then the women learn how to use that too,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
right?
think you
But
go ahead, go ahead. Finish talking,
yeah,
because
but
you know you
that
like to go, you know
ritual
you
is
like to go real deep with it. So
yeah. So that ritual came back to mind, and I said if I ever get a chance, I'm gonna make sure that the sisters know that this is the things that the women used to do. Then healed women heal nations.
mm-hmm. 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 Yep, and that is why that's why we do the Goddess Club. You know, it's a place for a woman to come back to the nature, come back to the ocean. You know, a lot of our ancient ways have been demonized, you know,
Yes,
um, calling it witchcraft and evil and you know, disconnecting women from their true power, from nature, from the feminine, because that's nature. It's divine feminine, and that's where our power is. But so many women have been afraid because of conditioning, because of so many conditioning. You know, we could go on a list of conditions right now. But I think that we're in a different time now where women are more open to learning more. They want more. So whatever's been presented before or conditioned before, it's not enough anymore. And so what's happening, we're in a different shift. You know, women are seeking to go within. And this is the conversation that we're having now. You know, they're less afraid, and they are open to new information, open to medicine, open to taking trips into the jungle. You know, open to ancient practices for a deeper level internal healing. And that doesn't mean that you discard whatever your traditions are. Doesn't mean that. If you decide that you want to keep those traditions or those religious practices, it's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm not what we do at the Goddess Glow Up is we don't put anyone in a box. It's not a box. It's you come to heal, and you come to discover who you truly are. You come to discover the healing that lives inside of you. We don't heal you. That's the thing. And so it's a different message now, you know, because we all are healers. It depends if we want to awaken that. We all are priestesses, but are we going to take the responsibility to awaken that within us? And so this is what the Goddess Glow Up is about. It gives women an opportunity to awaken what's innate, what's natural, to discover who you really are, how powerful you really are, how you can heal, how you can heal from that trauma, how it doesn't have to dominate your life, how you can You can go and find peace at the water. You can get energy from the sun. So these are the things that we've been taught that it's bad, it's evil, it's wrong, and times is changing. And so I want to just say thank you so much for you because I had no idea, Rod. It's such an honor. That's why I'm blushing like this. I'm literally blushing. My cheeks are like bursting open because um, I'm so thankful for you. And I had no idea all this time that you've been watching me. And this is our first time, our first live together. And you have been following and sharing my work all of these years. And my last Goddess Glow Up, like half the women came from you. And it wasn't that just half of the women came in from you, but their husbands. And this is how I knew that there was a shift happening when the husbands were calling me. It was the husband saying, I want to send my wife here. I got emails from husbands. And that hasn't happened before. So when I see that the whole family wants to heal now. And I want to say thank you so much for that. Because literally I got a message from someone and I was in the middle of my photo shoot one night, and they were like, no, it was my son. And my son was like, look, Ma, you're going viral on this thing. And I was like, okay, show me later. I got to finish this shoot. And then people started going. I was like, this is, and then you did the whole YouTube and everything. And I was like, wow, this is really beautiful because this happened during a time where I was on hiatus. I'm just now coming back to life, to the world. I've been on hiatus for half this year because I've given so much to people. So I needed time to go and give back to myself, to restore, to renew, to die, so that I could be rebirthed again. And this is my first time, like, really coming on, like, alive with someone, after 6 months of hiatus. And so it was such a blessing to know that my work was still being carried even while I was away. My work was still being shared while I was away. That was the blessing to me because I was just, no one could see me, no one could hear from me, no one. And I said, okay, I listened and said, it's time to do the Goddess Glow Up. Okay, it's time. And I picked certain dates. I did readings on dates. And then there it is. You gave a reading on the dates and, you did the work. I didn't even have to, there was no flyer. There was no promotion, very little. And the women, and they showed up. So thank you so much for supporting me in that kind of way. I feel very supported as a feminine woman, and to have that kind of power of masculine energy come in and support and really stand by me. So thank you. So much gratitude to you, truly.
So in our culture, a lot of people don't remember, but when the chief is making the people aware that there are the shift coming, he has to show who's doing the work, what work are they doing, right? And why is this important to the community? I have to learn every doctrine that influenced the people on this land, right? And one of the things that sticks out is the building of a confraternity, a global family of like-minded people that want to see better for the collective. When we try to do stuff for selfishly, we bring destruction to everybody, right? So when I have to point them to you as the woman that's doing the work that I remember our ancestors doing along the waters, because this cannot be a coincidence. This can't be an accident. It has to be a definite message, right? So I'm looking at the hieroglyphs and I'm looking at your video. I'm having this memory on the banks of the Mississippi. Women from all over the world come to wade with the women of this land every so many thousand years. That's how we end up becoming the great melding pot. Everybody knew this before they erased our memory. Now we know. Because I'm telling you, I got my man back and I know who our people is. And I know who's doing the work. And I'm going to show everybody who's doing the work and what work they doing. We can't fight this fight from the same angle and expect to win. And so when I point them to you, the sisters know to support you, because the more sister support you get, the more the nations begin to unify. And they
Yes.
begin to heal. Right? My big mama told my mama when I was a little baby boy, she said he gonna leave no stone unturned. He gonna get it all back. She wanted her daughters to have Earth back. So they conjured up a critical thinker, military strategist, ex-con that ain't had nothing to do but figure it out. So now I can come tell them, we back.
We back. We back.
For everything they owe. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I know.
Okay.
I know. I know. I know that you are coming to interview me, but I would like to interview you and just ask you just a few things.
It's called reciprocity.
Look at you smiling over there like that. Why you keep smiling like that? I'm here. I'm keeping
That's
it
what
very calm
look.
right
That's
now.
what divine feminine do to divine masculine.
I know. I see you blushing, and I'm over here blushing. You over there blushing. I just want to squeeze those cheeks. I'm like over there like, I'm gonna kiss you. You know, I think that this is important, right? You see how I could just show you this love just like that? You know, you understand what I'm saying? I think this is important, that we can give love like this, that we could be in this place of like pure love. Just, you know, it's not a sexual thing. It's not a, you know, I'm not looking for anything in return. It's the energy of love. And this is what we need. You know, this is what we need between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's really the love. Can I just love you, brother? Can I just love you? Can you just love me? Can I just
The
love
way
you
I
so
like to
much? Can I
say it
just love
is,
you? Huh?
the way I like to say it is, I love you cause without no reason.
Yeah.
I don't need no reason.
No.
It's there's no condition here. The respect for what you do
Yeah.
and for who you are make my heart melt.
Ah! Well,
Right?
you're making my heart melt as well, because I
Right.
feel whatever you're giving to me is going right to my heart. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you're bringing over to me and I'm bringing over to you, this is the energy exchange. And this is what I believe is what's going to heal us. And we can have our heart open. This is what we need more of. We need to, and we're in this really powerful energy right now. You know, we're in the energy of the new moon in Leo. It's a lot of light. It's a lot of fire. That's a lot of sun, right?
And
And
it's 8 days after the 8 portal opening.
mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's 4 8s. That's 2 seated queens.
Mm-hmm. The energy is really potent right now for us to be in a beautiful alignment of transformation, to be in a beautiful alignment with our truth, you know, with our truth. Who are we? What are we bringing out to the world? You know, what do we want? What do we want the world to feel, to see, to witness? Who are we? And this is what, you know, we have an opportunity right now to to begin new again, to start at a clean slate again, and to make a new contract, to make new agreements right now. If we really want to tap in, if we really want to, you know, get into this, the momentum of miracles. You know about that? The momentum
Mm-hmm.
of miracles.
Yeah.
right?
Because it's the space you in. It's the energy field that you in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do magic when you're full of hate
No.
because you carry in the darkness. But when you're full of love, you're full of light. And when you're full of light, you awaken your light body because
Mm.
the physical body can't contain the light of its own accord.
Yes, yes.
Right? So they say, let your light shine in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
you letting your light shine in the world, I'm just letting you know I see it. So they got this
Well,
thing they do in Japan, right? Where they go out on the dock and they hold a lantern up to let the fishermen know where the dock is when they coming in at night,
mm-hmm.
right? And that's became a spiritual practice over time. So even when the fishermen stop fishing, they still go out and hold up the light because somebody gonna have to find their way back home,
Yes, yes.
right? And the healed ones are the broken vessels, and the broken vessels shine the brightest in the dark.
Woo! Say it again, brother. The broken vessels. Say it one more time for the people who may have not heard that clearly. One more
The
time.
broken vessel is the vessel that shines brightest in the dark.
Ooh.
And the strongest ones have to carry the most weight.
Mm, mm,
And the one that know the way got to take the lead.
mm,
That's matriarchal orders. That's not the structure of man.
mm.
That's the nature of nature. And they call her Mother Nature because she Big Mama. And she love all the kids just the fact same. She don't care what you look like. She even like the little ugly ones that we make fun of.
She welcomes everyone, no matter who you are. You could be the lowest of the low, the you've done the worst deeds,
She
low
still
down
see the good.
scoundrel,
She
and
see the good and the worst of
that's
us.
what I'm trying to say. So, like when we think about the ocean, this is why the ocean is so powerful, right? When we think about the energy of the ocean, that's why it's so important for us to return to the ocean. When we come to the water always receives us. She always opens to us. It doesn't matter who you are. She does not discriminate. She's open, abundant, ready to receive you, ready for you to fall into her embrace. And that's the thing. And so, we have to open so that we could accept the invitation to come back to the mother. It's always an invitation, but are we accepting the invitation? So go back to the mother. Doesn't matter what you've done. Some people feel like they're not good enough, or that they have sinned so much. They've made so many mistakes that they're not worthy of healing. They're not worthy of love, and that's ego. That's not the truth. That's not
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, we have to
Some of
allow.
these men love their mama so much they trying to be her. They don't even know that.
You said what? Some of these men what?
Love their mama so much they trying to be her, and that's disgracing her at the same time.
Mm, you said a word right there. I don't know if they really caught that word, but you definitely said one.
Yeah, you can't be your mama. You have to be what your mama would want you to be
Mm,
as the best gender you are.
mm,
This is social engineering that has these children with these confused minds and insanity normalized by the social media and the media at large.
mm,
This is not our culture.
mm,
Our culture is teach everybody to be yourself because God made you the way he meant to make you or she meant to make you, however you see God.
mm,
When you born how you supposed to be born. But the social engineering has convinced your ego self, the world that the self that the world told you you was and you believed it without question.
mm,
So they told your ego self that you wanted to be a woman when you grow up.
mm.
Your ego self being all of the things you accept about yourself that you never question, right? If you're supposed to have been born a girl, you'd have been born a girl.
Mhm.
Ask your mama. She created you. She didn't say I want a girl in a boy body.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, sexual preference is a whole nother phenomenon. Two grown people got a right to do whatever they want to do in their privacy of their room. That ain't none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But to confuse the minds of children, I get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's belligerent to the matriarchal order. You want them to live their best life. You don't want to live their, most confused life.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Right? Stop teaching babies about sex. They don't need to know about that. They don't even think about it until they about to hit puberty.
Right.
Then you need to talk to them about it. But all of these things is a continuation of an ongoing assault on the divine feminine and the divine masculine for protecting her.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be emasculated in order for them to properly take advantage of the women of the land like they want to. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't be emasculated and protectors. So if you don't know what they had a whole military doctrine called the gay agenda that they've been pushing since the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
This is intentional. They told you they was going to do it, and we didn't believe them, and then they started doing it, and then we thought that we was being judgmental of somebody. We didn't know they was socially engineering our children to go in the direction they wanted them to go. Everything was to make us confused as to who we were on the land so they can take the earth from the sisters of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the whole patriarchal assault on the divine feminine has been. Not just patriarchal, homosexual patriarchal specifically. It's a homosexual cult of priests.
Mm-hmm.
They come from Babylon, but they spread around the world.
Yeah.
And the priests been fighting the pyramid priests ever since they've been priests. Because somebody have to try to protect the earth while they trying to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it looked like they was winning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, this is why we do what we do, right? This is why um, we have to take this role. This is why women need to continue standing up for the feminine. And speaking of that, um, it's an interesting movement right now that I see when it comes to the feminine energy, and there's a lot of confusion around it. And some of the confusion that I see, and I'm going to speak on from my perspective when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to women, is to understand what it is, right? What the energy really is. And so when some people think about the divine feminine or feminine energy, they think about a look. They think about how someone behaves or dresses. It's become like a very trendy thing, right? But I mean, there could be a woman that could appear to be real thugged out and be more feminine
I know
than a
plenty
woman
of
who may be willing to, she could be in her army fatigue and be more feminine than a
just the
woman
energy.
with a so-called look, right? Because the feminine energy is the understanding of listening. It's the intelligence. It's not the intellect per se. It's not the complete focus on the logic, but it's the focus on the inner wisdom, the inner guidance, the intuitive nature, which is the intelligence. And it is and when we say the feminine, she's in a space of receiving. People just think that it's cater to me, worship me. This is a twisted mentality. It's not that. Is can we be still enough to listen to the divine, to listen to our messages that's coming through us, to listen to our inner wisdom, to listen to our guidance. Right? She doesn't force. She doesn't push. She doesn't fight. She doesn't try. It just is. It's an inner magnetism. She magnetizes everything because she stays in alignment. She stays in the science of nature. She stays in the divine connection. This is what the feminine is. It's not about how she looks or she got a goddess look, you know. And it's not about the soft life either. Let's get this straight, right? Because I know that so many trends that really get people really twisted about this thing, right? Because you can be a warrior and still be in your feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a warrior. I'm a feminine woman, but I also have my masculine traits that are very important to the work that I do. Because
we got to remember, masculine comes from the feminine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's not the other way around. When the man go into protection mode to guard his woman, he's harnessing Shakti. What we call it in Kemet six segment energy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay for him to express it in a rageful fashion because the woman designed the man to look sexy when he do it. When he out there fighting the beast of the field, that's when she say, "Oh, I feel like a woman watching him do that. I'm glad I made him."
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm glad I made him. Ooh, baby.
So we here by a special invitation, and we want to take advantage of the host. I don't think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you let the host the party, we can go on about celebrating. Instead of trying to stifle her.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mama told me to go to other people's house with respect. Because the respect I give people at their house is the respect they think that she instilled in me. So they looking at her by watching my moves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm bullshitting nobody. Because it'll look bad on my mom and my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy said, "Man, move straight," so I just move straight.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will run a motherfucker over if he don't want to stop me from moving, but at the same time, I'm gonna come with the same respect I'll expect, and you gonna know you should give it to me, because if you disrespect me and you force me to disrespect you, it's gonna be disrespectfully disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said a word right there.
That was a tongue twister.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and do that one more time. Let me see
But
if I can catch it. Mm-hmm.
the
I'm just looking.
disrespect will this be disrespectfully disrespectful
Disrespect.
if you make me give it back to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna be multiplied when you get it back.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't matter to me. I ain't ducking the smoke. I'm just not fanning the fire. But if you fan the fire, I know how to put it out. But my mama said, "Don't never let nobody take nothing from your brothers and your sisters."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting my sister's shit back.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening. I'm listening. You know, I'm in a space of like deep listening right now. It's a lot of it's a lot of messages that are very present right now. If we really just listen and quiet the noise, a lot of noise, but there's so much available to us when we become silent and still and listen, especially around these moon cycles. This is powerful energy. I'm just in it right now. So you got me in a, you know, sometimes I'm real turned up, but you got me in a real mellow one. You got me in a real mellow.
But see, that's the difference though. When divine masculine around, you don't feel so tense because you
Yeah,
can be you,
I do feel really
unapologetically so.
yeah, I do, and I feel that, and I honor this space. You know, I really enjoy being in the presence of divine masculine. I really do. And I believe that we've been conditioned, especially in America, to fight so much, to fight a woman, black women in particular, to fight so much, and understandably so. You know, we've had to protect ourselves, we've had to provide, we've had to play more than one role, and so because of that, we often keep our guards up. We're in protection mode. We don't allow ourselves to soften. So it's beautiful when you could be in this space of the divine masculine and just soften up. You don't have to, so that's why I'm blushing so much. I'm blushing so much, and you're blushing so much too. You're blushing with me, right? There's a certain energy that's happening right here. I
Mhm.
know that everyone on this chat feels this vibration, and it's really beautiful to be in this high frequency right now. You know, divine masculine, divine feminine, and everyone's probably like, "What's going on with these two?" Right? But this is it's just a pure example of what it looks like to be in that presence. And also, sometimes we've been taught also that our sweetness is weakness.
Shit. They don't know my sisters like I know 'em.
Your sweetness is not, ladies, your sweetness is not weakness. It's okay to be sweet. It's okay to be kind. It's okay to smile, especially in the presence of a divine masculine. It's okay to enjoy that, you know. It's okay to give compliments. It's okay to be in a place of appreciation. It's okay to honor them. You know, I'll say some things that might piss some people off, you know, like I have a lot to say. I'm just very, very calm right now. And I like this space. You got to catch me on a different moon cycle, maybe the full moon. But this moon you got me in it's a very calm energy with
It's,
this moon,
it's
but it's
about to
always,
bring in a new
you
frequency
feel
comes
me?
in with the
Yes.
new moon.
Yes.
And remember, this new moon is 8 days after the opening of the 8-8 portal. That's not an accident.
Mhm.
All that's galactically timed. But who is the timekeeper but Karma herself?
Mhm. Mhm.
Kali Ma, right?
Mhm.
So she keeping time, and she gonna make the time a land where the sisters win in the end every time.
Yeah.
Because they the oldest contract on the planet.
Mhm.
The Earth decided to produce the women as caretakers. They didn't need no protectors in the beginning,
Mhm.
so there wasn't no need for no men,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Then when they encounter forces that's different, now they need to create a protector. So they made men in their image, after their likeness.
Mhm.
And through her uterus, she breathed in us the living soul and told us to go out and subdue the earth. And they keep trying to act like she a man. Mama said let them think what they want to think, but they can't stop what's coming.
Right. Let me ask you something. Can you tell us what are some of the books that you read?
I read hundreds
Give
and
me one.
hundreds of books.
Just give me one. I know you probably read so many, but like, give me
Um,
one book that you think that everyone should really get into right now.
Everybody look like us should have this book called A State of Emergency by Kawanza Kunjufu. Everyone of us should have that book next to our Bible.
What is it? Say it one more time.
It's called State of Emergency
State of emergency. Okay.
by Kawanza Kunjufu. The first chapter is going through a list of statistics. And the statistics is saying that if the enemy's children were suffering these afflictions, they would declare a state of emergency. So, from the perspective of a state of emergency, those were the grievances that I decided to take it up on myself to answer for my people.
Mm-hmm.
So, from the state of emergency comes Judge Dredd, the one with the blood and the right on the land, Crown Prince of Heaven and Earth. I came to get my sister shit. Because my mama said, don't let nobody take nothing from your brothers and your sisters. So here I am, back at it again. I'm the little brother they always call when they don't want to call nobody else because they want it done right. This is cyclic. We've been here before. We just got to remember who we is, and we can get on about our business.
Remember who we is.
Mm-hmm.
We got to remember who we is, y'all.
Not who we was, who he is.
Who he is. He said, we got to remember who he is.
People down in New Orleans know what I'm talking about.
New Orleans. I said New Orleans. New Orleans. I just came back from there last month. And they were telling me how to pronounce it properly. They said, because I'm from New York, right? I live in Miami for now. I'll be going back to New York. And New Yorkers, we have a certain kind of accent, right? So we say things like New Orleans. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to New Orleans. We pronounce it that. We're very much that, right? And oh, my mom is on. Hi, Mom. My mom is watching it. She's like, I'm watching you, my daughter. Okay, so they said to me that I have to pronounce it a certain way. They said, you say New Orleans. You don't say New Orleans. New Orleans. So I think I got it right. Did I get it right? New Orleans.
You gotta let it roll off your tongue with that Cajun drawl.
Wait. New Orleans. Wait, New Orleans. Did I get it? New Orleans. I'm going to New Orleans.
It's the Big Easy.
That was a very potent energy in that space. When I told you about it. So the underworld. That's the underworld. That place is if you want to go and take a journey to the deep side of things, a little bit to the dark, to get some information. Like, I don't have a problem with the dark. I want to make this very clear. Like, some people get really afraid of the dark. I like the dark. I think the dark is great. You just can't stay there too long. But it's important to take journeys into the dark because there's some information that the dark can give you that the light will never give you. So you have to go deep into the depths of the soul every so often to get the messages. And you don't really go there willingly. When it's time to go. The dark calls you when it's time to go. And you're going to go, you're going to either surrender or you're just going to be good at it. You're going to have a fight. But you're going to get there. That's the thing. Yeah. Either way, you're going. It's kind of like I went kicking and screaming several times. Oh, man. that's what my last 6 months was like when I took time offline. I didn't want to, I shaved my hair. I have hair on today because, I'm feeling this little vibe right now. But, I shaved it, not because of a look, right now I'm ready to grow it back, so I'm covering it. But I shaved it for spiritual reasons. And it wasn't like I said, oh, I want short shaved head. No, it was Spirit called me and said, it's time. And it's time for you to let go of the memory of the past because it's time to upgrade. And I was kicking and screaming at first. And it was the scariest thing, to peel back all those layers and to take a journey through the dark. And I thought the journey was going to be 30 days, and it ended up being 6 months. And I try to fight it, and it just everything stops. And I went through a journey to the dark. I had to gather some new information. I had to let some things go. I had to die. I had that part of me, that version of me. I don't even know her anymore. I'm thankful for her. I send her blessings, but she's no longer here. She doesn't exist
So
anymore.
that's the symbol of the serpents around the staff of Tahuti, the shedding of the skin of the serpent, representing the shedding of the stages of the self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you look at it, when they write it, sometimes it look like an echo, the way that it's written. That's the stages and layers. As you grow, the only limit is the limit that you accept. The only limit, you can grow as great as you want to grow,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be truthful with yourself
Mm-hmm.
because everybody got a talent that the world is craving to see.
Mm-hmm.
We wired that way by nature because it's the arts that make life beautiful. The plays, the dances, ballet, and figure skating are two ancient Atlantean arts.
Mm-hmm.
Ice hockey is for men from Atlantis. That's what men did to relieve
Ice
aggression.
hockey? You said ice hockey?
Yeah, we made that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it was because the men can't, if they can get the aggression out in an alternative fashion when you're not in war, because we're not always at war with so that warrior instinct has to be controlled.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The high Shakti aggressive nature female was given gymnastics.
He was giving.
So
You
she
said it
can,
was giving. You just say giving. It was giving gymnastics.
yeah, that's from Atlantis as well. What they gave those females gymnastics to control that high raging Shakti energy that they wouldn't otherwise learn how to control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why they turn off their misses into their mid 20s. It's a
Mm-hmm.
psychological attachment to an earlier time where where puberty didn't onset until you got your energy under control.
Mm-hmm.
Genetic memory kick in when they go back to doing gymnastics, sometimes ballet as well. When we wasn't being oppressed, women weren't reaching puberty at 8. Oppression make the women go into puberty earlier, which makes the people have to develop faster. They live way longer than us. Just to shorten our lifespans. But these little old women has always been tough on this land.
Mm-hmm.
And
Give me 1 second,
they
Rob.
use, mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm just putting. Some people ask where to follow my work, so I think can you pin it? I just put it in the comments.
If I see it,
If you see it, I just put it. Goddess Glow Up and Hadia Barbell. Brother asks where um, to follow.
I'm looking for it
Oh,
now.
for support. I don't really like follow, but support is great.
I'm going to pin it as soon as I get to it.
Okay, continue.
What was I talking about? Oh, man, I forgot what I was talking about.
But it just flows through you real easy. So all you gotta do is start. It's gonna, it's gonna flow. It's gonna flow like water.
So, how did you first know you had a calling to help women heal?
My parents raised me like this. My mom is on there. Shout out, mom. I was my parents. Well, let me go deeper. Before that, let's talk about it. All right. So I um I was born legally blind. Did I tell you about that?
Mm-mm.
Did we have a conversation? So, well, a lot of people don't know a lot about me, but a part of who I am, I'm really thankful for technology. I'm thankful that I was able to get the gift of eyesight because, um, you would think that it's a loss, having that kind of what they call a handicap, like not being, which when I was born, I didn't see. I see blur, and I still do see blur right now. And I'm able to, luckily, technology has temporarily corrected my eyesight with this technology of these contact lenses that saved me. But I was told I was going to be blind. And so when you are born like that and you don't have one of your senses working as it would normally work, another sense is heightened. And so for me, the other sense that was heightened is the sense of feeling. So was always, I always existed in another realm. I never really, I didn't, I'm not from here. I have another world that I exist in. And when I was younger, I thought it was an imaginary world because I was always creating my own world. I didn't know what this world looked like because from what I remember, I wasn't, no one knew I couldn't see until I was in second grade. Right, Ma? Are you on there? So no one knew. My parents didn't know that I couldn't see until later on. So I spent maybe about the first 6 or 7 years of my life living in a blur. You understand what that means? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in a spiritual realm all the time, all the time. And I still am. Um, so in this case, because I grew up this way, uh, my parents also they're from the nations of gods and earths, 5%ers. They call them God.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that, right? That's how I was
Yeah.
birthed. You know, my full name is
Yeah.
my full name is Hadia Zaqua Asia Earth. All
I
5%.
like that. I
That's
like
Hadia.
that.
My full name is Hadia Zaqua Asia Earth. They always put Earth in the name when it's the 5%ers, and in Asia for the woman. And so I was already raised with knowledge of self. I was raised with that. I was raised with holistic living. My father was a leader in the community of the 5%ers. He used to write for the paper. He was a community leader. My parents were. That's what I was raised into. The thing is that I rebelled against them. I rebelled against my parents because I didn't want to follow those rules. I wanted to create my
Mm-hmm.
own. I didn't feel like I fit in the box or any box, and I never really uh, was really accepted because of my what they call a handicap, like not being able to see and all that. So I wilded out for quite a bit in my life. I wilded out. And then I got a lot of stories to tell. I don't want to go so deep into it right now because we have a series of lives to do. I have a live to talk about being in the cult. I used to be in a cult too. I used to be in a cult, and that's a short part of it, right? And that's the Hebrew Israelites. That's what it is, in my opinion. And so there's a lot to talk about. So we can't do it all on one live. That's another one. And it's
You know,
coming.
I had to study all that.
Huh?
I had to study everything you just said. I had to study the 120. I had to know who Father God Allah Putin was. I got to know what happened to him. I had to know what happened to him. I couldn't stop. I was restless.
Mm-hmm.
I found out who did it. They look like us, but they not us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they got a whole organization hiding behind pale faces doing dirt as the Black Hand.
Mm-hmm.
Our elders was fighting them in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and 396 years before that, right? So as the what they call it, last resort, they conjure me up.
I wanted to wanted to help set women free, really. And that's why I do the work that I do. That's the calling for my work. My work, there's a lot of stories that I could tell around it because I'm a great storyteller. It's just that, we have to give it in small doses. So this is the dose for today. I'm sure we'll be doing this. I like this live. I like this vibration right now.
Yeah, wait till we on stage together talking to the whole thousands and thousands of people.
Like, there's a lot going on right here. And so I give it in small doses. But, for the way I was raised and the cult and the things that I was into, there's a lot of stories around that from a young age, seeking something. And finding myself into these communities where I was never really accepted, but I was looking for something, and I got exactly what I needed. I got a lot of pain. I got a lot of trauma. I had a lot of restrictions. A lot of these things. It's the greatest gift. Greatest gift.
You
Because
know those. You know those people.
Go ahead.
You know those people who cut themselves.
Yeah. I know.
Do you
My little.
you ever listen to? You ever listen to why when they explain what it does for them? You really listen to them?
Because my niece used to cut herself,
Right.
and she had so many.
It's a pain release catharsis.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So over here, the pain had become so unbearable that they had to inflict pain to relieve the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is the highest form of trauma bonding you can do in a community of oppressed people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But here's where its proper context come from. The strongest of us can withstand the most pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're gonna put ourselves in the conditions that's in our worst interest in order to apply enough pressure to break free from the oppression. Right? When we lose track of who we are, we got to find an alternate means.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the cutting comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But because we the strongest ones, we can take the most pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But pressure busts a pipe.
Pressure bust pipes, baby.
And pressure make diamonds.
Come out pure gold. Isn't that what we do with the gold? They apply so much pressure. They apply heat, fire.
They smelt the gold.
Mm-hmm.
But to make the diamond, they take the coal and put it under high intense heat and a whole lot of pressure.
Ooh, baby.
And
what
the
happens
coal,
with that afterwards? What happens with that diamond afterwards? After all that pressure, all that heat,
it becomes a crystal.
yeah.
One of the hardest crystals known to man.
Right.
If not the hardest.
So this is what I'm saying. So this is how we find our purpose. Right? Some people have a lot of shame in their stories, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of resentment, a lot of anger. But you can take that pain and those stories when we're giving that, when we're gifted that, because I see it as a gift. And when we gifted that, then we understand what our purpose is. Because no one was given these gifts for no reason. We actually asked for them. I believe we came here and we chose the contracts that we live.
Right. So that goes to the game of the gods. The gods come into human form to experience some shit called pain because it don't exist in the realm of the gods. So when they come into human form, you find most of them be paupers and beggars on the corner and you think they're just a bum. But they the pauper god, paying their pittance for being in human form by taking on the world's weight all as much as they can hold at one time. And to us look like poor quality of human. We
Right, right.
don't know that them the guys that's coming in to give you a relief because you can't carry the weight that they can carry from the oppression. They can carry it. They can endure until the end. And when they get to the end, they're going to get up and receive the crown of life. Right? I wanted to make mention of this. If you look back in our culture, they talk about women now. They say she wearing a wig, she got weave in her head. They don't got. We've been doing that shit for thousands of years. Why would we stop now? Why would we? Why would our women stop now? They invented that shit so they can change and primp and be more feminine under different auspices. So why would they change it now? My daughter called me up. My daughter do here in Chicago. Shout out to Foreign Touch. She say, Daddy, they say I ain't black because I like to wear. Oh, I don't want to be black because I be doing weave and I be wearing weave. I said they must don't know where it started at. They must don't know that that was one of the varying what we call adornments that our women created in order so they can please their man.
Really?
He might want dreadlocks Monday, but he might want bald head Friday.
I mean, he said he wanted to be in a polygamous situation. I said, well, which woman you want tonight then?
That's the story of the 101 Arabian Nights. When the king had the ladies, when she run out of stories, she gonna run out of life because he won't be interested in her. He said when he finally got to the last night, she said, I didn't think I was going to make it because I thought you was going to get tired of my stories and kill me. He said, I've been tired of your stories. I'm just not tired of you. I've been tired of your stories, but I'm not tired of you, so I can listen to them stories.
This conversation. I love this conversation because there's so much controversy. Like, you know, I'm so thankful that I've worked in that field and I was able to go really far with it too. You know, in this physical realm, I was able to win Emmys, work on TV, be in the New York Times so many times, and be in that place of, you know, what they call celebrity status when it comes to being a hair artist. And I always found that there's an energy. It's energetic. It's not just, I want to put on some hair. We were talking about this earlier because you heard the men downstairs talking to me about my hair because I came in one way and I came out the other way, and they was like, "Wait, you?" I was like, "Yes," and they was like, "More people should wear this." I'm like, "Yes," because I want to activate a different frequency. I enjoy being able to tap into different personas, to get into different spaces, to have different type of conversation, to open up conversation, to create art. You know, this is it's a form of healing. It's a form of transformation. It's it's a communication.
Internal expression to the outside world.
Feel me? It's so beautiful, and I struggled with this for a while. Could be the first one to admit that I struggled with this for a long time because a lot when I came into, especially coming on the social media, I came in from the industry. I came in from what people thought that I really was. You understand what I mean? They didn't know who they were dealing with. So they saw this super glamorous woman with these big old breast implants, the hair, everything. You know, I worked in the industry and that was the lifestyle that I had at that time, but they didn't understand who I really was. And so I struggled with it because when it was time for me to start sharing my consciousness, a different level, my gifts, and the messages from the divine, when it was time for me to come use my voice, it was really difficult for me. It was very difficult because people just saw the surface and would judge. It was very difficult for me to become at peace with me. And that's really what the whole story was about the whole time, and I didn't understand. I thought it was them on the outside and against me, but it was never. It was always me against me. Because once I became settled and secure and confident in who I was, all the noise stopped. You understand what I mean? So it's been a really beautiful 360 at this point in my time, because now I'm like, all of it. Let's bring all of it, all the medicine, all the tools, all the expression, all the healing. And I believe that it's not just an internal story. It's the balance of the inner and the outer. The transformation is happening inside and outside, outside and inside, all around. So I'm
You for
thankful to come to this place now, especially like I had to go through so many journeys. Like, the journey of 2019, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to release these breast implants. And I'm so cool with talking about it. And if you caught me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it would have been like, oh no, I don't want anybody to know. Oh, this is how they know me to be. This is how, so it's so much growth that had to take place. And it's like, no, I own that. I enjoyed those. Those were fun. They served the purpose at that time. They made me who I am today, right? So I have no shame about that. I could easily talk about it. It was time to release that journey. That person had to die too, and then another person was born again. And then when it was time to release the hair, that other person I was before that had to die too, and then another person was born again. And now, because we die many times in one life, in one physical life, and now I'm here, and I'm like, we can do all of it. There's such freedom in this. We could just play with all of it. We could just play in this whole physical playground and just have a good old time, have adventures with life. We could just flirt with life all day. And we make it what it is. We create it. The whole experience we're creating. I just went to a whole place, right?
hey, look, I I know when you get to a certain frequency, their interaction with people change,
Yeah.
and it make people treat you different. Now, when I was little, I used to have real strong psychic stuff going on, and I used to tell my mama and stuff would happen. She used to say, "Baby," she said, "Baby, you can't tell people that. You got to be careful what you tell people because you will scare them, and they gonna think you crazy and try to lock you up."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Years later, I heard the words of what she was telling me play out in a Rakim song. And Rakim said, anybody ever told you a little knowledge is dangerous? It can't be mixed, diluted, it can't be changed to switch.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you tell people stuff they not ready for, that little bit of knowledge can be to your detriment.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta ease some of us up on people, because if you give them too much of us at one time, they're gonna overdose. Right? And it look different as you go through different stages of growth. Right? And you're gonna have your detractors. Your detractors is gonna be the verification that you're doing what's right, because it's gonna be always somebody trying to tear you down when you're doing what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you don't have to come from everything that was right in order to do right when you know better. But they got us believing that because we once didn't know no better and we wasn't right, now that we know better and are right, we ain't qualified no more.
Mm-hmm.
Your life experience is what qualifies you to fill the job to lead the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't got no experience in the lifetime, how can you put yourself in the position to help any other people to get to the future?
Mm-hmm.
You're not fit to be a leader, because our ancestors said the one who know the way got to lead the path. It ain't got, I don't care who you is, you know the directions. We ain't finna be out here figuring it out. Get your tail in the front and show them the way out. So the ones who's leading the way, everybody is leading according to their level, right? And now it's the time that now we just trying to let the young chiefs inform the people that's in the younger age bracket that we got this.
No, we got this.
We got this.
We got this. I like the way that sounds. We got this.
Big Mama told me, don't tear it up, build it up. I said, well, sometimes you got to tear stuff down to build stuff up. She said, only tear down was useless. And if it's useful, repurpose it and use it, because they already put it there for you to use. So follow the law of use and use what's useful, right? So we tear down all of the BS, all of the non-functional, get rid of these schools. We're going to go back to the learning system, the family teaching the children. Step down education and the youth taking care of the elders so they can get that information. You letting all these old folks die without giving none of this knowledge to these children. We some damn fools. These children can be taking care of these elders, learning all of this fuck ups that they don't want to make, and all of the right paths to follow. But we cut off from the youth, from the elders. Ain't nobody got time for old folks. Put them babies in the nursing home. I mean, in the preschool.
The greatest thing that
we
yeah. I'm so happy that you're bringing that conversation up. And that's
this all part of the women reclaiming the community, because this is how they ran it.
Yeah. Sit at the feet of your elders and make an offering always. This is important for us. This is how we'll rise. This is how we'll continue to grow. We'll continue to share. We'll continue to build. We'll continue to know. We'll continue to remember. And that's what it is to return to a state of remembrance, divine remembrance. And yeah, no one got time, right? Nobody got time. So a lot of people are hurting so much. They don't have time for the medicine. Don't have time for the wisdom. Too busy to be of service. The greatest medicine that anyone can receive is an act of service to others, especially to the elders. The greatest medicine is to be in the act of service.
And that's what John Wick said at the high table when he went to go see the character at the high table. He told him when he cut off his wedding ring, he said, I will serve and I will be of service. That go back to the law of use. You're going to be the law of use. Anything that's useful, use it. And anything that's useless, discard it. Right? You gotta build your road with golden bricks. You don't want shitty bricks. But the greater the quality you choose your bricks to make your road, the more beautiful the road to your destination becomes. That's your responsibility. Because if you can't see where you want to be, how the hell you expect to get where you're going? You gotta have vision, foresight, the ability to transport your mind into the future, time travel by proxy. You don't need no machine, because when you come back, you got to know the future you want to come back to. Then your children gonna make that future a reality, because you got to come back through that bloodline. And what you teach them now is teaching them how to bring you back in the future. Under what conditions do you want to return? Do you want to return in the golden age, or do you want to loop back into this foolishness and go back to another Kali Yuga dumb age? I'm going to pick the golden age myself for all who want to go. Because I feel that the only plutocracy is one where we all free. And one of us oppressed, we all oppressed. That's how we look at it.
I need to go get my charger. My phone is on three. And I'm sad right now because I can't see the comments. And I know, it's the favorite part of the live, but once I pin my thing, I can't see the comments. I can't see it. Can't see what anyone's saying. It's no fun.
I read them most of the time, but sometimes I get to talking and I'll be to miss them for a minute.
That happens to me too. I'm gonna go grab my charger. How long are you gonna stay on?
Um,
I can come back on.
okay, go get your charger and I'll wait for you.
All right. I'm gonna come off and then come back on.
Okay.
So you could go ahead and talk to them a little bit, and then I'll go get my charger, grab some water, refresh a little bit, come back.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? One question for you. Were you smoking a cigar before on the on that video you were? I like when you smoke a cigar. It's nice.
That's our culture. We've been doing that for thousands of years. All of a sudden, they start spraying them with pesticides and think we're going to stop.
Yeah, I love cigar smoking.
It's the culture. Tobacco come from over here. People be forgetting that. Like, we the what made tobacco famous. They didn't know what no tobacco was in Europe. We were smoking tobacco and marijuana. They don't know what that stuff was over there.
I love those plants. And the tobacco, yes. I love them.
we been knew nicotine was a nootropic drug. Known to induce higher realms of thought. We been knew that. We been knew THC was an exercise for your spirit body. Your endocannabinoid system. That ain't that new to us. We've been dancing around the fire smoking herbs all night long. We ain't just smoking marijuana though. We had other herbs too.
I use the tobacco, and then I'm gonna go and come back. I use the tobacco. We use it in ceremony a lot. It's very helpful in ceremony, and I personally use the tobacco even in my personal when I need to really channel and I want to really open up the pineal glands. And I use it it's called rape, and you know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's really good. We should have a session.
For sure. That sounds like a winner to me.
I'll be back. I know they're in the comments with this one, but I'll be right back. But because the session is really you can really go there. Like I like to I love to travel, and so we do rape, and then we take some micro dose, and then we work with some sound frequencies because I'm a sound therapist. So I work with the sound medicine of the gong, because the gong is very powerful. Like my gong is right over here. Very potent because what it does, it's a reflection. It's the frequency of what we hear when we're inside of the womb. So you ever had a gong cleanse?
I haven't had one in this lifetime.
Okay, so medicine it's a really beautiful frequency, and it takes you to higher realms. And I've done this a lot in my ceremonies and in my retreats as we use the gong. And sometimes we work with cacao to open up the heart, and then we work with the tobacco, and it really calms your spirit and grounds you, and then removes ego. And then we might want to work with a microdose or a full dose of the magic mushroom. And if we want to really go deep, which we'll be doing in the next ceremonies that we have coming up in Mexico, is we work with the ultimate mother, ayahuasca.
Yeah. So those are all of that is deeply rooted in our culture. And this is why they demonized and villainized it. It was part of our culture. In order to trap the people up, you have to use what they already do against them, and then you can subjugate them. If they don't see it coming, they don't know how to defend
Mhm.
themselves. By the time we saw it coming, it was too late. We have to undo it now.
Mhm.
So we learn these shamans that take us into the smokehouse steam rooms, the mud huts.
Oh, I
All
was in the
these is
steam room today. That's why I'm so chill right now. You understand? Like, so chill right now. Like, I knew today is a moon, so it's like you don't eat too much. Your food should be very minimal. After about 6 p.m., you should be drinking a lot of liquids. If you're gonna eat something, it should be fruit. It shouldn't be. You gotta keep your channel very clear, very clear. And the whole thing, especially when you're working with a new moon, is that you really want to clean the slate. You want to clean the slate. So sweating, being in that sweat and dripping, and going into the steam room, going into the sauna, it's so good. That's what I did today.
yeah,
And then I went from
that's
there.
correct.
Yeah, so good. I went from there and then
So
I took another Pilates type of class where you're sweating, 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 and they're playing the frequency of movement. And you really have to keep these movements going. So I had those two frequencies and then I come here. So it's like, I haven't even had any Santa Maria right now. Imagine if I had some Santa Maria and then my rape, it would be a whole different, but the thing is, I don't even need it because this frequency is so beautiful, right? So this is my medicine. That's why I'm like, you know what? I was like, oh, I'm going to jump on live for a little bit, but you know what? I need to get some more of this medicine. So I'll be right back. You go ahead and talk to people. And I'm going to go charge my phone, have some water, and then come right back.
okay.
All right. Okay. Bye.
I hope I can make it till she get back. Let me see what time it is. I can't even pull my clock down.
Hello,
Hey, where you at?
right here in my bed watching y'all live.
Well, you on live with us now?
Yes, I'm kind of nervous, so excuse me in advance. I don't know. I'm just like you never accepted
What?
my request before.
Well, all I can see is the top of your head, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
Yes,
let you
I'm really
give you a minute to get adjusted over there.
okay. No, I'm fine. I just wanted to say first and foremost, thank you so much. I don't know her name. What was her name?
Idea.
Yes, thank you so much to you and Haidia. Y'all are very, 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 very wise. And I'm young, so like I don't know. I'm just trying to get into everything more. Like, and then when you had said something about Tai Chi also, it really was confirmation for me because I tell my partner all the time, I say meditation is not for me. I have such a short attention span. Like, I tried,
Oh, definitely Tai Chi.
yeah,
Definitely
and I
Tai
love
Chi.
yoga. I love yoga. So it was like, that was like confirmation for me. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to try Tai Chi. Because every time I do yoga, anyways, I type in comedic yoga. So Tai Chi is perfect, and I'm going to
That's
give it a
Muwada
try.
Ashby.
Huh?
Muwada Ashby and his wife teach comedic yoga in Florida.
Yeah, and I watched this lady named Sarah West on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and she's really good as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, and we're all working together, and I know that we'll all rise. It'll be better. Everything will get better. So I don't know. I'm just happy. Like I'm just excited, and I feel like I don't know. I love you. Like you're so amazing to me, right here. It's like you're so amazing to me.
Y'all got me over here
So
blushing.
yes, you're amazing. But thank you for accepting my request, and thank you for the confirmation tonight, and thank you so much to Hadia. Thank
Okay.
y'all so much.
Thank you for coming to see us too.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm trying to get the ones I see that been in there the longest. I don't mean them to be successful.
Wait, what?
Hey, what? How you
Wait,
doing?
what? No, because so much has been going through my mind. First of all, greetings, Chief Rod, Pete Hayes. It's just
I like
amazing to talk to you
your
once
hair. It's
again.
almost like man.
Thank you. Actually, I went through something and I literally just clipped it. I had locks, but this is what's hanging left. Um,
You know that's not uncommon in our culture.
yeah.
For when the woman to go through something, one of her expressions being her hair
Hmm.
for the new birth, she'll cut it all off. It's
I
actually it's still kept alive in a lot of priesthoods around the world.
hmm
Like Charlene still shaved their head.
hmm I
That's they
see.
get it from the women, from watching the women
Hmm.
blossom. And they
Oh,
go through stuff, we
I feel like
imitate it.
I'm blossoming then because yeah, I feel like so much has happened. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I prefer listening than talking, but I guess I'm the one who asked to be on. So, no, I just went through something pretty traumatic, and I did clip my ether because it was really tied to my twin, to my flame, and although he's transcended, I feel myself becoming more of a coil than I was before. I don't really like know how to explain it. I guess it's just like feeling still what he feels, but it's amped up times 20. Thinking
Mhm.
about all that I could
Because
have been and all that I will become now that I feel like I'm more myself. It is I don't know if I'm making sense, and it kind of feels a little wrong to say that, but that's just a matter of fact. I'm not too sure how many folks that are watching right now have lost a partner, fiance, just for people just close to you in general. But I feel like I've really been taking on, like, I don't know, you hear me quivering a little bit too, just taking on a lot of attributes of this being. Who is really my reflection in every single way. Is that like, is it normal for, I guess, your mitochondria to spike after certain traumas and for you to,
what
I guess,
happens
just become
when,
more?
right now you're going through the stages of grief,
Mm-hmm.
right? So first of all, you the only one can say when you're done grieving.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make sure you got that in the forefront of your mind. And it take how long it take,
Mm-hmm.
right? So some people be like, "Oh, you should have been over that 2 months ago." No,
Mm-hmm.
it take how long it take because different people's connections are stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and the stronger the connection is, the harder the grief and the longer it lasts. But as you go and begin to grow,
Mm-hmm.
you got to give yourself permission. It's okay to live again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do it on your terms. Ain't nobody tell you when but you, because it's a part of who you are,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you continue to grow, remember the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to take spiritual baths and remember to do things that make your heart happy.
I will. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. I recently spoke to Mama Nova. Uh, I actually met her through you, and it was just so beautiful talking to her again. A matriarch and a chief as well, and like I think what's really hurting me right now is how deep the treachery goes within bloodlines and
it feels like Cain and Abel playing all out in front of me right now. I feel like
Listen,
even talking about it, I'm still shocked. I don't
some
know.
of us, some of us, the black sheep.
Hmm.
The reason we the black sheep is because when we become elders, we're gonna have the biggest load to carry. So
Hmm.
everybody else have to dump their shit on the black sheep.
Hmm.
And that's how you get strong enough to carry the load later.
Hmm.
If don't nobody tell you, you will let the load break you.
Hmm.
But if you know you strong enough to carry the load, well shit, you gonna okay, well I'm gonna carry this motherfucker till I don't want to carry it no more.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna change loads, right?
Right.
So by the time you get to be an elder, you know how to let the bullshit roll off your back like water off a duck.
Right. And beautifully said. So eloquently said. It's funny, like, I'm sorry, I am gonna get a bit personal because it's funny that he and I put in like requests to speak to you, but now that my twin has become so much more, it's like now I get to answer. I feel like I just would have been listening to y'all talk, but now I'm the one that's talking. Um, yeah, like he was a Pisces and I'm an Aries, and that was like beginning and end, and so much fire, and he's water, and it's been so gray over here, and it's been raining. I feel like ever since I cut my locks, my cilium, my fro has really been tapping into the weather, tapping into the environment around me, and I completely gained a whole other understanding of why the maintenance of your vessel plays such a big part in everything around you. And I guess I didn't know how special we really are, or how special, as an individual you are until you grow through, go through, but yes, grow through certain experiences. That's really where I feel like I'm at. And the fact that I'm talking to you is kind of like surreal in a sense where I imagined it being he and I, and now it's me. It's so amazing, and I'm so grateful. Oh, yeah, Ron. Thank you so much because I really don't have anything else to say. I feel like I should give the stage to somebody. I was just listening so intently to, the healing and everything. And yeah, yeah, I'm ready to be free.
You just remember
Mm-hmm.
this. Before the pain, you're gonna be 100 times stronger after you
Mm-hmm.
recover.
Ashe.
So imagine what that looks
Mm-hmm.
like, so you'll know what you're growing towards.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back to what I was telling the sister earlier about paving the road with bricks of
Mm-hmm.
gold. Pick the quality of your bricks to pave your future.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Chief, and also everybody in the comments. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading. I'm not too good at like multitasking sometimes. So thank you so much. Let somebody else take the stage. I've never been in a live before. You gonna have to.
It's okay, sweetie. As long as you got your message
Oh,
and
oh,
you're gonna
absolutely.
be able to use the
Mhm.
information, it's good.
Absolutely. Actually, the last thing I want to say is I guess this is another thing that's pretty personal, but I'm sure other folks can relate for sure. Is like tapping into your controlled chaos. I don't really know how to make a question out of it, out of my experience. I guess kind of just through all the trauma and just going through the motions. I feel like I've woken up to a whole other part of my being. I have this tat and it's supposed to be a oni, and I feel like that's who I'm waking up to. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like my question was somewhere in there. Like
What is the tattoo, sweetie?
it's supposed to be a oni, and then it's a mask. So there is somebody peeking through that, but I feel like
So when we do those tattoos
mhm,
like that, we do them with an intention behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And the intention behind them is the sympathetic link to activate the energy that they embody,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in times of need, you draw on that resource to give you extra strength.
Mm-hmm.
Some people pick wisdom signals that give them extra insight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some people pick strength symbols that give them extra strength because they know they're going to need it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we don't get tattoos haphazardly, even though sometimes it might seem that way.
Right.
It's cultural.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rod.
You're
Chief,
welcome,
hey,
sweetie.
put some respect on your entire being. And have yourself an amazing night. And yeah, everybody that's tuned in too, man. This is lovely. Oh, 11:11. Hey.
And
Oh,
remember
wow.
this, trees are the most stable energy source.
Yeah.
So if you can ground your feet and touch a tree,
Mm-hmm.
it can help you stabilize your internal energy when you go into an internal uproar,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right?
Thus it shall be. I will. I will. Thank
The
you
more
so
tools
much.
you have to use, the more resourceful you can be in your recovery.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Ah, I'm feeling too emotional. You gotta let me go. You gotta let me go. Thank you
All
so
right. If you have
much.
any questions, just inbox me, okay?
Definitely. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
See you later, sweetie.